if you actually try your best, you cannot lose. It's impossible. It's a logic fail. Today I want to start with this topic, which is a very important one, and I think it is a topic that many people don't understand and don't want to talk about. But I genuinely and sincerely believe that if you try your best, it's impossible to lose. And I'd like to highlight the word impossible and underline it because I mean what I'm saying. It is impossible to fail if you try your best. I've never seen anybody dedicate themselves towards something and not getting it. I have never personally failed when I try my absolute best. On a long enough time frame, of course. At the beginning, you can fail. Let's make an example. I was talking with a friend of mine a couple of days ago, and I said this thing. I said that if you try your best, it's impossible to lose. And he said, well, that in some cases might not be true. For example, maybe if you have a school test and you get a bad grade, you tried your best, you tried hard to get a good grade, but you got a bad one. And I'm like, yes, what you're saying makes sense. But what I would say is that if on a long enough time frame you keep trying your best, you will get that grade which will make you pass the year. And I think that's super true. I think this is the truest thing I've ever said possible in my videos. If you try your best, it is impossible to lose. Always remember that. And I want to talk about personal experience because when it comes to school, if I had to describe my mood in the last couple of weeks, and maybe it's gonna be in this way for the following 2 months, is angry. That's the word I would use. I'm not angry. I think men are angry. I don't think they're very emotional. I think they're angry. I mean, they're not like emotional like women are. I think men are angry. I'm not a man. I'm a teenager. I'm not gonna call myself a man yet. Like, no way. But I'd use the word angry because I said I was gonna get to 1,000 subscribers. We are at 500 almost. We're like 491, 492, whatever. I will get to 1,000 by the end of the year. And there is no doubt about it. I will get there. If I keep going at this rhythm, I will get there by 20th of December, but I want to actually try to get there by 10 days and by the end of this month. But I don't know if that's going to be possible, but I'm going to try to get there as soon as possible, regardless of everything. But I am angry because I am yet to prove everybody wrong. I don't have much patience, guys. Nobody, well, not nobody, but very few people believe I'm gonna reach 1,000 subscribers. Most of them are like, bro, you're not even at 100. What are you gonna do in 2 months? No chance. And I was like, guys, watch me. I've never been wrong when I vowed. Whenever I vowed, I kept my promises. So I've never been wrong when it comes to that. And they were like, no, you're not gonna get it. And I'm like, guys, watch me. And now I'm like, I wanna prove this motherfuckers wrong, but I'm yet to get to 1,000. I'm sure I will get to 1,000. This is not a lack of confidence. I am surer than ever, more sure than ever, it sounds better, that I will get there. But I've not gotten there yet. And the same thing with other stuff. Like, my school start, I started the school year in the worst way possible. Like I did 2 years ago. Why? I don't loop around stuff. I tell it like it is. I've not studied as much as I should have. I have barely studied. If I said anything different from that, I would be a liar. I would lie to myself. I would lie to God, and I want to avoid that at all costs. It's better to tell an harsh truth, instead of a soft lie and a great lie. Lying is always the worst thing. Lying is always the worst option. Don't ever lie to yourself and to God. That's a big problem. And 2 years ago, it was the same. So this year started badly, and so I did 2 years ago. I'm kind of angry, not because I've gotten bad grades. I'm not worried in any way, shape, or form because I will come back and, pull off a comeback, which is average, to be fair, nothing special. I don't consider it special. I don't want to sound arrogant with this. I don't want to be brag. I don't want the tone of this video to be a braggadocious one. I just want to say some stuff, and I'm going to be very straightforward in the way I say those things. So I don't want to come across as arrogant. Like, guys, I'm not a genius. So I'm not going to say I'm a genius. I'm not going to say I'm smart. But I'm just going to tell it like it is. So just be prepared for that. So as I was saying, I need to pull off another school comeback. And it's actually great. I'm happy. Because last year it was too easy. No stress, no fun. School is boring and gay. I've talked about it many times. School is boring, fake, and gay. 3 words to describe school: boring, fake, and gay. And I will make a video called School is Fake and Gay or School is Boring and Fake when I pulled off the comeback. It's gonna be the most explosive video I've ever made. It's gonna be something very explosive. I'm gonna be very offensive towards school. Very offensive, like straightforward points. I go straight to the point and tell it like it is. No BS, no messing around, straight to the point. And I want to make that video because I genuinely believe school is very boring. And I'm not saying school is boring because it's too easy, but I'm just saying it is boring because it is boring. Like, the stuff you study at school is boring. If school were interesting, I wouldn't be doing this video right now. I wouldn't be making it. I would be doing something else probably. I would be studying because it's interesting. I actually studied today, but I don't care about that. I'm not going to talk about studying in this channel. I mean, let's not make this channel boring. I want to make it entertaining. And if I start mentioning study, it's going to be dull, so never mind. But school is effectively boring as hell. One of the most boring things in existence, I'd argue. People will disagree with me on this take, but it's the way it works. But school is super boring, super fake. Nothing feels real at school. I don't feel like school is real. Let me just say it this way. I don't feel it is real. It's like there is some fakeness which is polluting the air. That's the way I would explain it. But in the last couple of weeks, I'm pretty angry and impatient because I'm like, I want to prove these motherfuckers wrong so much, but I'm yet to get there. I will get there. I will pull off the comeback. I will get to 1K with, I'm not going to say with ease, because that's an exaggeration, that's hyperbolic, but without too many problems. Let's just leave it there. And I want to prove everybody wrong. Not with the school comeback, because everybody knows I will come back there. But with the 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be like, guys, I told you, I've never broken a promise when I vowed. The key word is vowing. When I vow to do something, I do it. And it's not a card I use very often. I said I was going to lose 5 kilograms in 1 week. I did it. I said I was going to lose 5 kilograms in 1 month. I did it. I did that maybe 2 or 3 times. I don't even know. So I want to ask you guys now, because in these videos I like to ask existential questions. It is never going to get as serious as the video where I was asking what is straight and what is gay, because that is just a topic which is so high and it is so important for our culture and for our existence that it's difficult for me to match that importance. I will never be capable of talking about a topic as important as what is fake and what is gay, what is straight and what is gay. And I'm yet to answer that question. I don't know what's straight, I don't know what's gay, I'm yet to find out. I need your help, guys. I don't understand anymore. I'm even starting to think that breathing is gay to some degree. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. But everything feels just so fake and so, I don't know how to say it. The West is woke. I was talking to a guy who's Russian a couple of days ago. And I was saying very basic stuff for him. I was like saying, mass deportation, and you should have your culture. There should be a degree of nationalism, and culture is important. Woke insanity shouldn't be there. And he was like, it is pretty normal. The only countries on earth who have gone woke, the only countries on earth who have gone to hell are the Western countries. Because Russia, I know it is in a war, but I'm not going to talk about that. Russia is still based. In Russia, they are based. There are only 2 genders. They understand those things. But the West has been disenfranchised, and they've been doing stuff with the West which isn't great. And I don't even think that the things I told him were controversial in any way, shape, or form. They were normal, basic. But to some degree, I perceive those things as controversial because the West has gone so crazy and so far left, and I'm not right-leaning, I'm center, that saying basic stuff feels crazy. It feels crazy, effectively. But coming back down to the initial point, guys, I do believe that if you try your best, you cannot lose. I genuinely believe this, and people have disagreed with me. I've had people saying, "Oh, there is a chance you will lose. There is a chance you can fail. There is a chance you can lose. How can you know that if you try your best, you won't lose?" And I'm like, personally, talking about personal experience, I mean, trying your best is something which cannot be quantified, I'd argue. So there cannot be any data to prove me wrong or right. It's just personal experience. But I have never seen anybody try their absolute best at something and fail. And I have never personally failed when I tried my best at something. And I'm talking about a long enough time frame. You might fail at the beginning, but in the end you win. And that's for many reasons, I would argue. I think that's for a law that is instilled in the universe, that is because of God, who I believe rewards the people who try their absolute best and rewards the people who deserve it the most. I believe the universe is very giving. I believe the universe is very fair. I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe in luck. I believe in creating luck. I believe in trying every single day, working as hard as you possibly can in order to obtain the things you want to obtain. I don't believe in luck. I don't buy into these things which I consider to be BS. I don't want to be too offensive and I don't want to curse. So I'm just going to say BS so you understand. So I do believe that if you try your best, you cannot lose. And the counter argument for this could be, well, there have been people who have tried their best, there have been people who have tried their best to be professionals at something, and they couldn't be professional at that thing. Probably they have, at a certain point, not given their 100%, but let's assume they did. I am certain that those people who haven't managed to get into professional sports, this is the example I'm making, have still become extremely successful at something else or at something related to sports, and they are managing to do that thing related to sports at the highest echelons. So I think there are many arguments for trying your best equals certain victory, and I think that there are very few against, and I believe that if you try your best, you cannot lose. And I talk about this because of personal experience. I've never done anything crazy in my life. I've never done anything which, makes you go nuts and takes you back and you think like, okay, this dude has pulled off something of the likes you've not seen before, or something which is outstanding. I don't think I've ever done anything like that. But still, the few times where I really needed to lock in because the situation was getting bad, I tried my best, or tried hard or harder, and I got it. So I just think that it's impossible to fail. And I'm going to state something which I hope in a couple of years is going to go viral, and they're going to be like, this dude was spot on, this dude was Nostradamus. If I don't reach 1 million subscribers on YouTube or on any other platform, I might get banned before, and that's something which to a degree I can control, but to the other degree I won't control because I have principles and I have lines which I'm not going to cross. If at any point in between the journey from 492 subscribers or 491 and 1 million subscribers, I got banned because, I refused to sell out, well, that's something which could have been avoided, but at the same time, I'm not going to sell out. I'm not going to allow other people to cross lines which I don't want to be crossed. So that's, I think, what's going to happen. That's, I think, what could happen. But coming back to the point I was making earlier, and then I'm going to finish this video, I'm going to sum it up. I believe that if I don't get to 1 million subscribers, it's all my fault. And I believe that I didn't try my best. I believe that I didn't work as efficiently as possible for as long as possible, because if I had done those things, I would have gotten there. So that's my belief, that's my idea. And perhaps most people think like this, and the reason why I make this pretty controversial and straightforward videos, I don't think I've ever said anything so controversial yet. What's the most outrageous thing I've ever said? Okay, a video which was called Women Shouldn't Vote, but it was hyperbolic. I mean, I only said that in the title, and I said stuff which might be a little bit controversial. The video What is Straight and What is Gay is satirical, the disclaimer at the beginning. said it, so I mean, I'm not gonna take any of the things I said there seriously, even though I'm still trying to guess what's straight and what's gay. It's still a question which I'm asking myself. And I've not said anything so controversial yet, but I do believe there is a silent majority who wants who wants to have their opinions heard, who wants to have their voices heard, and I'm here to say basic stuff, and I'm here to say things that people agree with and people would like to implement now in their societies. And the Western world is somehow not allowed to say stuff like, no, we want to close borders, we don't want third worlders coming into our country because they commit more crimes than natives and citizens of our countries. We don't want mass immigration. We just want our culture to be thick and to be great and to be strong. And we don't want this BS. We can't take it anymore. And I believe that there are millions of people who say those things. And I do believe that if we can manage to put as much pressure as possible on the governments, because getting into politics is not a strategy which functions, in my opinion, because you are forced to make deals with enemies and you need to try to take your enemies out one by one. And the deep state is a force that is never going to move, it is never going to wait, and it is you against the whole deep state, and it is a battle which cannot be won. The only thing you can do is to potentially scare them so much by putting so much pressure on them that you're going to force them to do something. We can make an example. If we were to create a movement of millions of people protesting against the open borders, you might get the borders closed. But then you still have to protest and protest, and you still have to be strong, and you still have to be loud. I'm not inciting violence. I'm not advocating for violence. I'm just saying things which are normal, I would argue. And if you keep going in this way, you might get something out of this globalists who don't want the best for their people, which is a reality we will go down, and it is a rabbit hole we will go down. Because I'm going to finish this video with a banger. If you believe politicians have your best interest, I think you've been lied to, and I think you are naive. And I would argue that this point is not right-leaning. If you want to call me right-leaning, I'm fine with it. Don't feel offended by it. I think I'm center, to be fair. I think I'm center. I'm quite center. I wouldn't say I was unbiased in the election. I certainly wasn't. I was pro-Trump all the way. And I still am, by the way. That doesn't change. But I'm not right-leaning. I'm not left-leaning. I'm center. I believe in common sense and I believe in rationalism. If you were to ask me what's your political view or your political identity, I'd answer rationalism. I am a rationalist. That's what I am. And to finish this one off, as I told you guys, the people in charge of the world, the globalists, don't have our best interests. And the reasons for that, we will talk about it in the next videos as explosively and as deeply and as controversially, even though that's not a word that I hope we accept it, as possible.